Shalom, I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachak Kudash and Shani Kabad Gadawala Rakwab Zakwanyam Nawa Washalayakim Nawa. And that's double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom Wabarakim Labakam Shayasharala. And that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, to the confusion of faces, meaning those who look like the other nations, but whose spirits resonate with the truth, and that believe and have faith in Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son. So to all of you brothers out there, no matter how you look, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, I want to say peace and blessings to you all. So as you can see, the title of this article that was on cnsnews.com, it came out 3 days ago, last Thursday, December 6, 2018, the year of prophecy. This article is entitled Mandatory Implementation of Microchips in Employees. UK government says it would likely be illegal. And of course, we understand that it won't be illegal one day. It's actually going to be made mandatory. And proof of that is the fact that they're actually having conversations about it being made mandatory. If it won't be made mandatory one day, why even walk near the water? If you don't want to fall in the water, my dad told me when we went fishing years ago, he said, don't go near the edge. So why are they even having this conversation? Because of course, Revelation chapter 13 has to play out. The end of that chapter has to play out, okay? And if you don't know by now, the mark of the beast is the microchip. It is 100% without a doubt the RFID microchip. And before we read that article, I want to read these last 3 verses right here. And I'm going to show you that if you don't know that the mark of the beast is a microchip by now, then according to the Bible, that makes you a fool. And I'm not speaking out of my own heart. I'm going to prove that to you. If you don't know by now that the microchip is the mark of the beast, you are a fool. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That is the microchip. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the microchip, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now verse 18, and this is the point, it says, here is wisdom. Here is wisdom. Now a wise man isn't counted as a fool. The only time a fool is counted as a wise man is when he closes his lips. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and that man is a so-called white man that we call him nowadays. His true biblical nationality is Esau. He stems from a man named Esau, otherwise known as the Edomites. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. All right. And when you look up that word 6, it's synonymous with the word sex, which they both mean to cut. And what's being cut? Well, what's going into your flesh is that charagma. All right. That charagma, that incision, a mark. It's the microchip. But verse 18 said, here is wisdom. So when you have wisdom, then you understand that the microchip is the mark of the beast. But of course, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai has to give that understanding to you. Now watch this. This is the book of Proverbs. Let me go there. Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 16. It says, wherefore, this is a question, wherefore is there a price in the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he hath no heart to it? And when you look up that word heart, it's referring to your mind. So wherefore is there a price in the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he hath no mind to it? Meaning what? His thoughts aren't even on receiving any kind of instruction, receiving any kind of understanding, receiving any kind of wisdom. So therefore, if you don't understand, and if you don't have the knowledge that the mark of the beast is the microchip, that makes you counted as a fool. Now let's go to this article really quickly. We're only going to read a few paragraphs out of it. Once again, mandatory implementation of microchips in employees. UK government says it would likely be illegal. But let's read, okay, about this disgusting thing. It says, it sounds like the stuff of astrological literature, but the idea of companies forcibly implanting their employees with the microchips is making waves in Britain. Let me read that one more time. It sounds like the stuff of astrological literature, but the idea of companies forcibly implanting their employees with the microchips is making waves in Britain. Forcibly. And he causeth all. When you look up that word causeth, it literally means to make. Although the government says it doubts the practice would be legal. Oh, but it will be legal one day. It will be. It's going to be forced. In recent years, companies marketing microchip implants have touted them as a convenient shortcut to many routine tasks, employing the same technology used in contactless credit cards. The tiny device is generally implanted in a worker's hand and can be used for such things as opening doors or turning on devices. But groups in Britain, ranging from the Confederation of Business Industry to the Trades Union Congress, TUC, have spoken out against the prospect of companies forcing implants on employees, a step that could facilitate constant monitoring. Now, why would these two organizations, Confederation of Business Industry and the Trades Union Congress, be speaking out against companies forcing implants on employees? Obviously, because they're having talks of making this microchip mandatory for these employees in Britain. Why else? It's common sense. There's no other reason to speak against something unless it's actually in the workings, for lack of a better word. This thing is going to be made mandatory soon. And as soon as it's made mandatory over there, it's coming right to Babylon the Great. You best believe it. It says TUC Secretary General Francis O'Grady said in a statement this week, new technologies should not be allowed to compromise a worker's right to privacy. Employers should negotiate with their workforce about monitoring policies, he said. Unions can negotiate agreements that safeguard workers' privacy while still making sure the job gets done, O'Grady said. But the law needs to be strengthened too, so that workers are better protected against excessive and intrusive surveillance. In recent years, Sweden has reportedly become the center of microchip use. Although numbers are hard to come by, implant parties, where friends group up to have microchips implanted, are reportedly taking place, and the National Rail Service now offers a microchip reservation service. Biohacks, and I believe maybe it was Biohacks, maybe another company, I'm not sure, but it was either last week or maybe the week before. Either way, within the last week or so, I came across another article, and I believe the company was Biohacks, or maybe no, I think it was called Biochip. But either way, they came out and said in a press conference, just go check out my video, and I have the article up there. Just type in the name of that, the title of the article in that video. But Biochip, I believe it was, said that they plan on producing 1 million microchips next year in 2019. That's a fact. That's what they said out of their own mouths. They plan to produce 1 million microchips next year, and they said in 2019. Now, you don't produce something at that large of a scale if you don't have the customer base to back it up. Why? Because as a company, you're not looking to fail. You're looking to prosper. And that means you have to have some kind of value given back to you, some kind of rate on your return, rate on investment, ROI. So if you produce 1 million microchips, you're looking to sell, aka implant 1 million people. So this paragraph says Biohacks, a Swedish company that specializes in inserting a microchip about the size of a grain of rice under the skin, said recently it was business talks with several it had business talks with several large British firms. All right, continuing on, it says, last month a Scottish National Party lawmaker asked the government in a written parliamentary question whether it would take steps to ban the microchipping of employees by their employers. Responding, Government Minister Kelly Tolhurst wrote that several legal issues would be raised if an employer required or encouraged microchip implementation in its workers. So now they're actually having these conversations now. Now we've known for a while through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that he put upon our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that the microchip is the mark of the beast. But of course, they're only now within these past, I'm even going to say within the past few months. This is a year of prophecy, by the way, 2018, deemed by our elder apostle Tahar. Okay, but with that being said, only within this past, I'm going to say this year, have they been having conversations, big conversations about making this microchip mandatory. It says, while I am not aware of any cases being brought to test the legal position, it seems unlikely that such an invasive approach to security or monitoring would be found to be justifiable, she wrote. And they're just stating their own opinions, but it will be made mandatory soon. And I'm just putting this out here because we're supposed to be watchmen. We've been set up by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to be watchmen, and we have to report on these things so that the elect out there can be warned and build up their faith. It says Tolhurst, who was parliamentary undersecretary for the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, added that it is likely to be difficult for a company to show that such a practice complied with privacy laws or health and safety requirements. In a second answer to a related question, the government said it has not been asked to assess the efficacy of proposals to microchip employees. And I'm going to end it right there. You can read more if you want to. Once again, this is on CNSnews.com. Mandatory implementation of microchips in employees. UK government says it will likely be illegal. However, the point of this video is that they are actually having these conversations of making the microchip mandatory in employees. And once that goes down, once that actually happens, you best believe that it's coming over here to America, which in the Bible is referred to as Babylon the Great. And just like my elder Kasap over here in the DC camp likes to always say, and it's very, very, very true through the spirit, the microchip, especially over here in America, will be made mandatory through some kind of economic collapse. Because if the money system, if this US dollar still holds some kind of weight, if it still holds some kind of value, if it's still strong, if these stubborn people over here won't take that chip. But you can best believe that an economic collapse, which is also prophesied in the Bible, is sure to come to America. There will be no more jobs, martial law will be declared, and that microchip will be made mandatory. And only Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai can keep you from the hour of temptation. So as of right now, we ought to be praying every single daggone day without cease. We ought to be fasting. And through the spirit, I'm just going to say this. Of course, I'm nobody to give out any kind of orders at all. But this is just my belief. You should be fasting on a weekly basis. That's the times that we're in. That's how serious this is. Praying every day, fasting on a weekly basis, meeting up with the Akim when you can, and doing this work. Work. All right. But with that being said, I pray that this video was edifying to the elect out there. And I'm going to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash. And I got to say Tawada Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for bestowing this beautiful knowledge upon us. Double honors to our elders and apostles, our masters of Great Millstone who rule well in these times and will soon be found out to be the men of the Lord. And peace and blessings to the elect out there. Shalom.